Welcome back. Today we're going to do a deep dive and review of I Am Your Beast. I Am Your Beast was developed by Strange Scaffold, a small little indie company out of El Paso, Texas. It initially released on September 10th of 2024 for a PC and was later ported to consoles on June 25th of 2025. This game is very reminiscent of a boomer shooter, but it's kind of its own beast, if you catch my drift. You basically have 52 different levels that you're going to try your best to get done as quickly and as perfectly as possible. This is the first level, and as you can see, although it's easier than most of the other levels, it requires quick responses and deadly accuracy. Yes, there is auto-aim, but sometimes it hinders more than it helps, and you'll get plenty frustrated through this. In full disclosure, the entirety of this review will consist of complete levels and my runs through them, with a couple exceptions. The first of which is on Titia Titi. You're going to grab this knife up top, and this is just to show you that you can throw knives at explosive barrels in order to get a 1-second bonus time. So go ahead and grab that knife up top, look below you, and you'll see a group around a campfire with an explosive barrel in between them. Jump down on top of the first guy's head, get that 1-second bonus time, throw the knife at the barrel, get 3 extra seconds bonus time, and then try to get headshots or explosive kills in order to maximize that bonus time to get that S rank. Headshots give you half a second of bonus time, whereas explosive kills give you a full second of bonus time. So it's better to go for those explosive kills, but headshots will do in a pinch. In a normal playthrough, that span of time might seem insignificant or insubstantial, but if you're trying to nab that elusive S rank, every fraction of a second counts. In this run, I only beat it by 0.22 seconds. And that, my friends, is the difference between a headshot and a normal kill. If you're worried about spoilers, because my review consists of complete runs of story missions, fret not. The story mostly occurs in between missions. The first 27 levels are considered story mode, and there are 3 missions on that are exclusively story and don't have any quantifiable gameplay, so you're not going to get S rank on those. But the other 24 missions, like this one, consist of just trying to get that S rank or trying to get done as fast as possible. I decided to go with this approach of these complete level playthroughs to serve as both a review and a guide of sorts. A lot of these levels are hard to get an S rank on, especially on console, because you can't move as fast as a mouse and keyboard. But what I'm hoping for is, even if you don't like my reviews, you can mark the chapters and you can get some ideas on these levels because you're going at them at 100 miles an hour and it's hard to see every single aspect. So maybe you see, oh, there's a barrel there that can take out 3 different guys. For example, we'll start with the 5th mission, starting gun. This mission has a lot of beehives in it. Alright, so you drop down from there, get that 1-second kill, get these guys with that half-second one-shot kill, drop a hive on these guys, explosive kill, hive kill. All of those are worth 1 second each. So then all you have to do is finish off these guys and you're able to get that S rank just in the nick of time. This run was 0.3 seconds faster than the time. But we can do better with different approaches. Alright, same thing in the very beginning. Drop down, shoot that guy, shoot these guys. Make sure you grab those guns so you have enough ammo to do what you want to do. Shoot that explosive barrel instead of dropping that hive. Turn around, drop that hive real quick, and then you're able to get more kills, more 1-second time bonuses, and it's a lot better time. Now, sometimes your stars will align just right, and based on enemy movement patterns and whatnot, you'll have miraculous things happen, such as this run. Everything happened just as the same as the last time, except I do the barrel, do that, oh, the gun comes right to me, and then I drop the hive, it kills all the remaining enemies right over there, and I'm able to go up to the escape hatch and finish the level half a second faster than I did. No, a full second faster than I did the last time. Word of advice, if you decide to pick up this game, is never pass up the opportunity, especially if something's right there along your path, to get that extra bonus time. Pick up those traps, throw it at the enemies, hit those explosive barrels, but never go out of your way to do so because it might end up taking more time than you're saving. Like say you run 2 seconds across to get a 1-second bonus time. It's not going to do you any good. This single playthrough right here will serve as a humbling reminder that even though you think you're doing everything flawlessly, everything smoothly, the slightest hiccup will lower your rank from an S to an A by half a second. not taking full advantage of the environment, or a simple slip up that cost you that half second will be devastating to your score and you won't get that S rank, and it can get very frustrating. Now while I have you here watching this, as you can see I'm half a second behind, and you can restart easily. It takes less than a second in order to restart the level, and you can get back into that groove. But overall, my overall impressions of this game, I love it. I had a fantastic time playing this game. I originally bought it on Steam and played it on the Steam Deck, but as with all the first-person shooters that I play on deck, it's not as great of an experience, just simply because I don't like the handheld thing. It feels clunky and clumsy. But as soon as they announced it released for consoles, I picked it up that day for my Xbox, and I played the ever-living crap out of it. It only took me a couple of sessions to beat it all the way through. It's not that long of a game if you just do the story mode, not trying to get S rank. But I went back and I got the S rank on all the levels. Well, all the first 3 sets of levels. So you got the story mode. That one has 24 missions that are playable that you can get S ranks on, and you get an achievement for getting S ranks on all those. Then you have the challenge missions, and I think that's 12 missions, and you get an achievement for getting the S rank on all of those. And then you have the COI support group missions, which you also get an achievement or a trophy for getting the S rank on all of those. And then finally you have the cold sweat missions. And those ones you simply just have to finish in order to get that elusive achievement or trophy. If you decide that you don't want to pursue S rank on every single level, this game is still pretty fun. Personally, I found the pursuit enjoyable, but it's definitely not for the faint of heart. There's a lot of repeats, there's a lot of frustration that comes with trying to perfect your runs and just repeating them over and over again. As you progress throughout the campaign, the missions are going to get increasingly more difficult. For example, on this mission, Backstab, you're going to start out in a bleeding state. So not only do you have to worry about icing your enemies and not getting hit by bullets, but you also have to continue to pick up health along the way. If you don't pick up health along the way and fail to prevent the enemies from doing too much damage to you, you're going to bleed out and die. This is one of the later missions in the story mode, and as you can see, they ramp up the difficulty significantly. They add this foggy layer that obscures your vision and makes it difficult to see what's in front of you and what's coming. In addition to that bleeding effect, it just makes the game all the more intense. You're trying to survive, you don't know what's coming, and you're trying to get that S rank, and it's awesome, it's fun. You also have challenges that you can complete to make the game a little bit more fun and mix things up a little bit. And for example, on this level, you gotta get at least 6 hornet kills, so you can let them pile up under the hornet's nests in order to maximize those kills. What this also does is it unlocks challenge missions. So you have to do a certain amount of challenges in order to unlock all of the challenge missions to complete that portion of the game. And with the challenge missions, they increase the difficulty even more than the story mode. There are 2 challenges per mission to complete, and they vary across the board. Sometimes it'll be kill all enemies in the arena, sometimes it'll be kill no enemies in the arena, other times it will be get a certain amount of kills with certain weapons or environmental hazards, and then of course there's a challenge where they don't want you to pick up any health or armor throughout your run. One of the cool aspects is that you don't have to complete story mode challenges exclusively. Once you unlock the first challenge mission, you can use the challenges in that challenge mission to unlock subsequent challenge missions. That's a lot of challenges. The important part is it's a cumulative amount of challenges that you have to complete in order to unlock those missions. You don't have to complete every single challenge, just a certain set amount. As with the story mode, the further along you get in the challenge missions, the more difficult it becomes. In story mode, it slowly ramped up the difficulty throughout the mission. Some of the earlier ones are a lot easier to complete and a lot easier to get an S rank on. But here it sets a new threshold with the initial starting difficulty, and it's hard right off the bat. If you are able to complete all of the story missions, especially getting an S rank on it, you're ready for these intense challenge missions as well. Alright, let's talk a little bit about the negative aspects of this game. Occasionally you'll run into some clunkiness. For example, sometimes when you jump on an enemy's head, it won't kill them. You'll land right next to them and they'll start shooting you or stabbing you, and it gets kind of frustrating. You lose that momentum, you lose that 1 second bonus time, and you're gonna have to repeat that run. There are also times when you're trying to use one of these laptops and you're running up to it, you're looking directly at the laptop, and you press the right button and it doesn't trigger the laptop. You like swap out with some random weapon behind you, and that can definitely get frustrating because you lose a full second or two and you're going to have to repeat the run as well. And sometimes the auto aim gets in the way as well. I've had to turn it off on several missions, especially when I'm trying to hit an explosive barrel and it keeps automatically moving toward an enemy and I lose that full 1 second bonus time. Very frustrating. Yes, this game pretty much demands perfection, but occasionally there's a little bit of cushion. Like I turned around and grabbed that health so I wouldn't die at the end, and I'm still able to get the S rank, but it's just in the nick of time. 0.03 seconds. That's like a mouse penis away from not completing that S rank. So close. Now, not only do the challenges vary per mission, but the main mission itself varies per level. It doesn't seem like it because the last few ones have been used laptops, but some of them you'll have to use laptops. Some of them will just be in an arena where you have to survive enemy waves. Other times you'll have to destroy satellites, and then other times you'll have to kill all enemies and get to the escape hatch. Occasionally these levels will be multifaceted, where you're going to have to kill enemies, use laptops, destroy satellites, and do a couple other things before you get to the escape hatch. One of the biggest complaints I've seen on the interwebs, especially from console players, is that this game is designed for mouse and keyboard users. And they're right, it is. You can move the mouse ridiculously fast, whip side to side with your viewpoint, and get kills a lot faster. But it's still completable on console. Yes, it's very difficult. Yes, it pretty much demands perfection, and there's a lot of frustration in that, especially having to repeat runs. Some of these runs I did 30 times, just repeating the first part at the beginning because I know I messed it up, and that can get very, like I said, frustrating. But it is doable, completely doable. I did all of these missions, I got S ranks on all of them, and I didn't have a mouse and keyboard. Sometimes you have to do something like this. You see how this time hasn't started, you wait to start it on your own terms. Sometimes the time starts automatically, but you got to take full advantage of the environment, and sometimes you have to have a little bit of luck, especially if you're me. I mean, I'm sure there's console players that are a lot better, way better than me, that can do it no sweat, you know. But in order to get these missions done on an S rank level, especially like this helicopter mission, you gotta take full advantage of everything that it offers. Use the RPG to get some kills, and then get that helicopter down as fast as possible. Like this guy, I don't think I killed. I just take his weapon and get the RPG and finish off the mission. And I'm still able to get an S rank. Very hard, but there are strategies that you can use, and that's what I'm hoping this review will help serve as, like just inspiration in order to get those. Like right there, use that rocket that you get right there on that van, kill 2 of those guys, use explosive barrels as often as possible to get that 1 second bonus time. I think the important takeaway for this, if you're trying to get that S rank, is to get all the rockets and explosive kills that you can. Pick up everything along the way, don't turn around and get it, but get it as you progress. And if you miss it, go back and repeat the level. You can also go through the level slowly, just to see what all you have around you, and you can better do it through rote memorization and get that S rank just by repeating and perfecting each time you go through. So I showed you some story missions and some challenge missions. Now we're on the COI support group missions. And this consists of 9 different levels where they increase the intensity and the difficulty, and they also kind of ramp up the ridiculousness. Basically, this is a group of COI guys talking about their fears and facing the main character, Alphonse Harding. And so it's got that extra bit of hyperbole, that extra bit of embellishment, because they're sitting around talking about these horrible experiences they have. And that embellishment of these stories works to your advantage. Alphonse is basically stronger and faster, and you're going to go through these, and it's going to be ridiculous because this is that hyperbole in their minds. This is that embellishment in their minds where you are the Baba Yaga and the boogeyman and their worst fears. This level, aptly named Rocket Science, has a ridiculous amount of rockets that you can use to your advantage, and use them you should. Use it to kill any enemy that you see, or a group of enemies especially. That enemy get his rocket, try to shoot that tree so you can get all 4 of those kills. Sometimes the rocket enemies will kill themselves, which is a great boost to your not only morale but your time and getting that S rank. Best way to approach, like I talked about before, is rote memorization. Go back through and repeat these levels, taking advantage of everything that you can. Don't get tunnel vision though. Sometimes you'll try to do it a certain way, at least I did. Keep trying to do it a certain way, and that's just like insanity, trying to do the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Sometimes you can shave time off by doing so, but for the most part, if you're having trouble with a certain area, look around and try to find a rocket. Look around and try to take advantage of those environmental hazards. Prioritize your enemies. Take out the rocket dudes first. Like I said, sometimes they'll kill themselves, which is highly beneficial and fun and great for you. But you can't always rely on luck in order to complete these levels. Grab every rocket that you see. Take advantage of every group of enemies and use that to get the points that you need. I got really frustrated at the beginning of this next level, mostly because I had tunnel vision. I kept trying to shoot the explosive barrel, then shoot the tripwires, and auto aim kept preventing me from hitting those tripwires. Ignore that barrel and just go straight for the tripwires and you'll get it. Right here, make sure you stay straight. If you veer from side to side when that explosion goes off, it's going to launch you into the side of the cliff and you're going to get caught there, and it's going to cost you a few seconds. Hop, and slide under, and then you can grab some health down here. At the bottom there's a claymore. Shoot that for another 2 explosive kills, and then up top you're going to hit this guy in the head, jump over the claymore and hit that explosive tripwire in the back for another 3 explosive kills. You don't need to kill this guy, just grab a shotgun, hit that barrel, drop the wasp nest, hit the other barrel, and then use your rocket launcher to take out the rocket man up top, and it's going to give you a whole bunch of explosive kills, a whole bunch of bonus seconds, and you can get that S rank. Overall, this is a fantastic game and an awesome shooter, and I had a great time playing it. Despite my initial complaints about intermittent clunkiness with button mashing, because it happens very rarely, overall, this game is very responsive, very fast-paced, very smooth, very excellent execution of ideas. It's a difficult game, especially if you're trying to get that S rank, but it's not arbitrarily difficult. It's not rigged to be difficult. There are no bullet sponges or tanks. Well, there's an attack helicopter, but that's a different story. But for the most part, it's about maximizing your efficiency by using the environment. And if you have the drive, if you have the tenacity to go back and do it over and over again to get that perfect score, it's all the more rewarding. This game also reminds me of GoldenEye. Not only are the graphics reminiscent of that beloved classic, but the level design is pretty similar as well. I mean, damn, look at that. Like, think back to the facility, the second level in GoldenEye, where you have to go through it and complete it in under a certain time on Double Agent, the hardest difficulty, in order to unlock a cheat. On that game, it kind of depends on where Dr. Doak is. If he's in the wrong spot, you're going to have to go back and repeat the level and still use a lot of skill in order to complete it in under that time window. On this game, however, it's heavily reliant on your own skill, on your own ability to go back, memorize the level, and use the environment to your advantage. Yes, sometimes there's a little bit of luck involved with enemy movement patterns, but for the vast majority of it, it's based on your tenacity, your skill alone. Don't lose your head over this comparison, because the gore and the movement itself are way beyond GoldenEye as far as functionality. This next level is pretty cool, still on the COI support mission group, but here they're remembering Alphonse as super strong, as punching people in the head and killing them in one blow. This one, I kind of looked up on how to do it, and this takes a lot of skill. I mean, you have to like just be a machine, just throwing stuff, picking it up, and using whatever you can to get those kills. Try to get as many kills as you can. Try to maximize the explosive kills when you have a rocket launcher. If you have a group of them, use it there. Right here, you got to kill this guy up here, and then you have to destroy those satellites
and punch kills are going to give you a little bit more than the throw kills unless you have a trap. So punch those guys, hit this guy up top, jump on top of one of the other guys, and then knife him, and then you're able to get it just in the nick of time. But it's really difficult to do. 0.09 seconds, jeez. Also, love it or not, this game has no attachments to any weapons whatsoever. Any weapon that you pick up has a certain amount of shots. Once it's done, you can throw it at the enemy, it breaks, and you can't use it again. Some people might not like that, but I think it fits this game well. I didn't like it quite as much in Breath of the Wild, mostly because it interrupted the combat when I was trying to fight one of those big scorpion dudes, and I would have to change weapons and use the radial menu to basically pause the game in order to switch weapons. It would break up the combat too much, but here it's designed within the game so that you have to keep moving forward, and it doesn't really cost you any seconds to pick up any weapons or to switch over because you don't have any set definitive weapons. You have the environment, and you use that environment. You are the weapon, basically. One last tip before closing thoughts. When you approach an unaware enemy from behind, make sure you jump and kick them. That's going to allow you to maintain your sprint and momentum. If you kick them from the ground, it's going to put a hitch in your giddy up, and it cause a delay as you try to start sprinting again, costing you a few extra seconds. This might look exactly like the first level, but it's actually just the first part of Limbo, the initial mission in the Cold Sweat levels. Basically, the first part of Limbo is a mirror image of the first level, Walkout, but each time you go through the portal, it's going to take you back to the beginning, and each subsequent part of that level is going to be more bizarre, with the topography more fractured and floating objects. You can take advantage of those explosive barrels, but you're going to have to do a lot more maneuvering. These are the levels that you don't need to get an S rank on. These are the levels that you only need to complete in order to get the achievement. They're going to up the ante a lot, they're going to be a lot more difficult, and you're going to have to do a lot more movement-based things. You're going to have a lot of moving parts, have to do a lot of sliding, and try to kill as many enemies as you can so that they don't kill you. Try to avoid the sniper fire, otherwise you're going to be dead. This one I didn't get an S rank on, but the next level I was able to do so. To summarize this whole review, this game is absolutely fantastic. I promise I'm not a masochist, even if I did go back and perfect all my shots trying to get that S rank on a lot of these levels. You don't have to do that, but for me it felt more like an accomplishment. These aren't arbitrarily hard missions, like I said before. It's all about rote memorization, going back, expanding, broadening your horizons, not getting that tunnel vision, and taking advantage of the environment while being able to manipulate the controller to the point where you can flawlessly execute these things. It's going to take a lot of motivation, determination, and it's going to take a lot of grit and basically tenacity, but I felt like it was overall rewarding, and this was a fantastic experience. Highly recommend this game. 9.5 out of 10. If you happen to believe I didn't fully complete the game, I brought receipts, and if I can do it, any schmuck can do it. Here are some of the rare achievements that you can get, worth gamer score or trophies depending on your platform. I'm proud to add this game to my growing list of 100% completed games. Absolutely enjoyed doing it, wasn't that much of a pain in the ass, and it was actually fun. I hope you consider purchasing this game and supporting these devs at Strange Scaffold. Great company that made a fantastic game. I highly recommend it. Thanks for taking the time to watch this.